Big breaking news out of the NFL. All the other teams with head coach openings shedding a tear today because that guy right there, now former Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, will be the next head coach of the Chicago Bears. That is the very latest, getting confirmed from our NFL insider Jonathan Jones. Johnson spent the past 5 years in Detroit, serving as their OC for the past 3. This season, Detroit ranked first in points per game, second in yards per game in the NFL. A guy who's smiling right now, former Bears offensive lineman Kyle Long, our colleague here. Kyle, how much did you smile when you found out this news?
You know what? My wife went and got a massage. She got home, and I said, let's take a walk, babe. So we went and got a Starbucks, and on the walk, my phone started blowing up, and I was like, something's either wrong or something great happened. And it's usually the former when it comes to being a Bears fan. But we just got Ben Johnson to Chicago, and we didn't let him leave. He's going to be the new head coach for the Chicago Bears. It is like, I'm over the moon. I didn't even want to consider this a possibility because I didn't want to be let down by Ben Johnson if he went to, let's say, the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Las Vegas Raiders. But he is a Chicago Bear. He's going to be the leader of men that we've been looking for. Look, we bring in Caleb Williams. The guy throws, darn near 4,000 yards. He's got a campaign that's unbelievable when you look back at the Chicago Bears quarterback history. You need to pair him with this offensive wizard. You need to pair him with a guy who can develop his skill set, put forth the schemes that'll have the Chicago Bears offense not lagging behind every single game, trailing coming out of halftime. But I want to pump the brakes, and I want to just say this. We got it right, but in my opinion, we've got it right a few times before, but the organization, the roster, hasn't picked up the slack. This is such an opportunity for the Chicago Bears to make that next step. We hear all the time about the 85 Bears. It is now time for Ben Johnson's Bears. I can't wait for it, and obviously it starts with getting that #1 pick, Caleb Williams, even better than he already is. If you can do that, this team can compete with anybody. Just go take a look around the NFC North this season. We took all those powerhouses down to the wire in all those games.
Here's the thing about Caleb Williams. You got your quarterback. You got to keep it upright. And you mentioned, look, the Bears have gotten this head coaching thing right a couple times before. Let's look at how Ben Johnson gets them over that hump, that next step. Offensive line, we got to talk about it. Caleb Williams sacked 68 times. That is tied for the third most in NFL history. What needs to be the first steps for Johnson to get this team on the right track?
Well, I think the layman would point at the offensive line, as I have done many a times, but the student of the game would understand that there are a litany of plays, if you go back and look at the film, where Caleb Williams was unsure of himself, where he held the ball too long, where he tried to create with his legs, extend plays to be able to have those highlight reel style throws. Ben Johnson is going to get that out of him. He is going to make sure to condition this young man to stay in schedule, stay in rhythm. Go take a look at what Jared Goff does in Detroit. It's running the football, setting up the play action, throwing the ball once your back foot hits at 7 yards, 8 yards. Caleb is going to progress from an intellectual standpoint. Obviously, the physical gifts are there, but Ben Johnson's job is clear to me. It's obviously get everybody on the same page and get the most out of Caleb Williams and his development, and I think he is the man for the job, Amanda.
What about staying in the NFC North and just how difficult this division is? I mean, we're looking at 3 other teams, and the Lions, the Vikings, and the Packers that all made it to the postseason. The Bears sitting at a 5-12 record. Obviously, he's very familiar with them, seeing them twice per year. How difficult, though, is it going to be for the Bears to compete in this division next season?
I just think it's a fantastic opportunity to have a guy who has not only played against and scouted each and every one of these teams, but he's done it twice every year as the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator. So you get that wisdom of your own division staying in-house. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for these guys to take the next step. And like I said, they've lacked creativity offensively in Chicago. And a lot of this stuff that they end up stubbing their toe on is a byproduct of having a rookie quarterback. Ben Johnson will expedite this process of development for Caleb Williams, and it'll pay dividends for that offense, in turn equaling to more wins.
Kyle, you can smile. I know you're a little nervous about the future, but you can celebrate today. Here's
the thing, Amanda. If you've ever hung out with or been friends with a Chicago Bears fan, you know that we are like, there's poles to the way that we feel about things. It's either all in are all out. So, I made a deal with my buddy Barstool Big Cat. We were not going to get overly excited about the Bears, regardless of what happens. Step one, we got Ben Johnson. That's the guy that we all wanted. Pie in the sky. We got it. We've got a quarterback. So moving forward, I'm gonna taper my expectations and just pump the brakes a little bit. But this is very good. If you're a Bears fan, this is exactly the news you want to hear in the middle of the afternoon.
I love that you made that deal with him. I doubt that's going to last for either one of you. Your expectations are going to go through the roof. You're going to win that first game. Like, preseason's going to look awesome, and it's going to be all in on the Bears.
Don't peak too soon here, Amanda.
Kyle.
Don't peak too soon. Thank you.
Have fun. We'll talk to you soon. Pushing the pile, Kyle and Mike Renner, the host of that. You can be sure they're going to be breaking this down from all angles, what it means for the Bears, what it means for the NFC North. Ben Johnson going from offensive coordinator of the Lions, now head coach of the Chicago Bears. Pushing the Pile podcast.